I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sportsbook.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sports books.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code BUZZ for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code BUZZ for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code BUZZ.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Dedication isn't born in the light of day. It's carved in the quiet hours before the world blinks awake. At Boar's Head, we rise with a mission to deliver craftsmanship worthy of your table. A slice of something special folded into every moment worth savoring. Because dedication means delivering only the very best. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
Welcome into the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, thank you for making us a part of your Saturday morning. It's summertime, baby.
Beautiful Saturday morning.
It is summertime.
Beautiful Saturday morning.
You wake up, everybody's mowing their lawns.
Oh,
yeah. Going to the pool, whatever. It's a great day.
It is great. It is a great day. It was warm. It was warm to start off this morning. It was, waking up a little bit earlier this week, it was kind of cool in the morning, but this morning when I walked out, I was like, dang, it's pretty warm.
Yeah.
It's that time of year, man.
It's summer.
Love it.
Before we get going, real quick, got to give a huge shout out to the next head coach of Box Elder High School boys soccer.
There you go.
My brother, Anthony Esparza, 23 years old, and he's a head coach of a high school team.
Love that, man.
I can't believe it. I'm super proud of him. That's awesome. First head coaching gig. That's what he wanted to do right out of college, and he's doing it in our hometown. So best of luck to him, and go Bees.
You got to tell him, first, congratulations, brother Esparza. You got to tell him to, he's got to make a deep run, man. He's got to make a deep run and make it down to Zions Bank, make it to America First Field, so then I can call his game.
Alex Napoles calls the high school soccer championship games.
Heck yeah, man. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
I'm stoked for him. I hope he can turn the Bees into a powerhouse for sure. I don't know if Box Elder's soccer team has ever been a powerhouse. I think they were pretty good when I was in high school, but
they need a brother Esparza.
Yeah, that's what they need.
Coach Esparza.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You know what, man? I've been lucky enough to do this for the last 4 years. We'll be heading into year 5 once the fall starts up, and I've still yet to call a Kearns game.
Really?
Yeah, haven't had a chance yet.
Kearns not good at soccer.
Yeah. Not real. They're having a tough time in the sports department right now.
They're rebuilding.
Yeah, they're rebuilding. There you go.
That's okay.
They're having a tough time.
You know what? Kearns versus Box Elder.
That'd be fun, man.
Next year.
Yeah, there you go.
Are they both? Is Kearns 5A?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both.
It can
5A.
happen. Probably.
It could happen.
Maybe.
Might not, but at least not from the Kearns side.
Let's jump into the show, Alex. There was some waves the last few days. I want to get to this. Kevin O'Connor from YahooSports.com released his latest mock draft, and this was the first mainstream mock draft that had Cam Boozer going to the Jazz at number 2 overall. Now, he did emphasize that he's not doing it based off of any intel that he's gotten. He just not word for word. I'm paraphrasing here. He kind of just said, the more I started to think about it, the more I like the fit.
The exact wording he used was gut feeling.
Gut feeling.
Gut feeling.
Okay.
That was an exact that's an exact quote that's in that article. And I think that's where a lot of Jazz fans online need to differentiate and really look at the fine print.
Okay.
Because the tweet, right? Everybody tweets it out. Kevin O'Connor, Yahoo Sports just put out a mock draft. It's Cam Boozer, and everybody ran with it. But then you go in and you say, this isn't based on intel, this isn't based on anything, it's just a gut feeling that he has. But everybody's running with it as, the Jazz are picking Cam Boozer at 2.
So I guess my question here is, if that's going against the grain, if Darren Peterson and Cam Boozer are on the board, would Jazz fans be happier if they drafted Cam Boozer instead of Darren Peterson? And that's, I want to get into some of this draft stuff, man. I mean, the draft is about a week and a half away, right? It's coming up. We're going to send Ben Anderson, our Jazz insider. We're sending him to New York to be there in the draft. It's a huge day, right? And the Jazz can't mess up this pick. They have to nail this. This is their ticket out of the rebuild. It's an opportunity to give them a face of the franchise, the best player on this team over the next 10 years, right? All of the things they need to nail with this pick. So it's really important. And you look at Cam Boozer and some of his pros and some of his cons versus maybe a Darren Peterson and some of his pros versus his cons. I like the way that I think Cam would fit into Will Hardy's offense, not just next year. I'm not worried about next year, right? I'm worried about long-term.
Right.
Peak.
Right.
I think Will Hardy could have a lot of fun with Cam. And I'm thinking specifically of the way that Will used Yusuf Nurkic when he had like that triple-double streak. And Nurkic was doing a lot of, not like ball on the floor ball handling, but a lot of passing and starting up the offense and things like that. I think that's where Cam Boozer really excels as a big, right? Not only did he shoot 40% from 3 last year, but he also, his basketball IQ is the highest in this draft. And everybody knows, talks about he makes the safest plays. He doesn't have stupid turnovers. He's a great passer, one of the best passers in the draft. And I think that fits Will Hardy exactly because Will Hardy's offense, he wants everybody to play hard and pass, right? So the more I think about it, it's like, man, I do think Cam Boozer would fit really well into Will Hardy's offense. The defense is what worries me a little bit. I don't know how Cam Boozer is going to hold up defensively at the NBA level.
Right. And I feel like that's something that, again, we've talked about it a little bit before when it comes to the defense. It's not just something that this number 2 pick that the Utah Jazz have can potentially grow, especially if it's Cam Boozer, who I also would agree that has some defensive deficiencies, but I think this Utah Jazz team as a whole just needs to be better defensively. And I think Will Hardy now with heading into next season, having free range and having the opportunity to go out and win some games. The green light to win. Exactly. And I'm excited to see if Will Hardy can get this team playing better defensively. And if it's Cam Boozer, you're bringing in a prospect who probably needs to grow a little bit more defensively. That might be a good mix. Yeah. Of getting everybody on board at the same time of let's figure this out.
Let's improve as a unit.
Exactly.
I do wonder where he will fit in the NBA. If he's going to come in and truly be a 4, a power forward. What does that even mean these days? Like, is there any such thing as a true 4? Or do you just basically have your point guard, 3 wings, and a center, right? I honestly think Cam Boozer would probably fit better as a wing, at least, again, offensively. Defensively, I don't know if he's agile enough to defend the wing. Who knows? His strength is his biggest plus as a defender, right? He's a really strong dude, 250 pounds, 6'9". But the problem there is the 6'9". He's not tall enough to be inside, right, as a rim protector. So obviously with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Walker Kessler, that means your defense is always going to be good. And so can you play Cam Boozer as the 3 next to Tripp and Walker Kessler? I would like to think so. Of course, you got a $50 million man in Lauri Markkanen that would need that spot as well. So over the course of a game, I do think there's enough minutes for everybody to see the floor, especially with a rookie. You're not relying on Cam Boozer to come in and be good this year in order for you to reach the playoffs, right? The Jazz kind of have that luxury. They don't need their number 2 overall pick to start right away. And it's okay if he comes off the bench because they're worried about 5 years from now, right?
This is a long-term investment.
5 years from now, you're probably not going to have Lauri on the team.
Exactly.
So it's not that big of a question. But
If you draft Cam Boozer and he can come in and excel at the 3, then I think that answers the Larry question, because the Larry question is, how long is the investment in Larry Markkinen?
Yes.
Because the second apron is killer, and this roster could get expensive really
Very
soon,
fast.
really quickly. So how long do you want to extend that window? How long do you want that quote-unquote championship window to be open for this Utah Jazz team?
Yeah.
And if you draft Cam Boozer and you can develop him a little bit more into a potentially being that 3, then I think that solves your Larry Markkinen problem.
I think so too. And that would give you, an easy way to clear a lot of money off the books. Like I said, $50 million. That is, he's the second most expensive contract on the Jazz. And Keontae is yet to sign his extension. He's probably not going to be as expensive as Larry Markkinen, right? So I don't know. Larry does some great things too. So that's the tough part, dude, about this draft is you're not necessarily worried about immediate fit, but you kind of are, but not really. There's a lot to balance.
Right.
A lot to balance. And on the flip side, with this number 2 overall pick, you want, like I was saying earlier, a player that can come in and be the best player on your team, the face of your franchise. Can Cam Boozer be the number 1 on a championship level team? I don't think he can. I don't know he can, because the shot creation isn't necessarily there, right? Is he a player that you want to give the ball to down the stretch? You see Jalen Brunson in the finals. You're comfortable letting him shoot to tie up the game or take the lead because he's got that clutch gene. I don't necessarily know if Cam Boozer is that. So do you lean Darren Peterson just because of that?
I think people, I don't know, man. I think people would be and should be okay with Darren Peterson. And I know that the everything is always going to come back to the concerns about his availability. Everything's always going to come back to his concerns about whether the cramps and the creatine situation. But I think ultimately, if you can bring in a ball handler like Darren Peterson, I think that would be huge for for building this roster and thinking about it long term. Right? Again, as we were talking about with Cam Boozer, this isn't just about going and winning the next year, the year after, the next 3 years. This is a long-term investment. This is a guy that they want them to be the guy of this franchise for the next, 7, 8, 9 years. And
10, 11, 12.
10, 11, 12, however long it may be, right? And I think that this Jazz team does need some ball handlers, and if you draft Darren Peterson, I think that every Jazz fan would be okay with that because he is a good ball handler.
That's a great point. Yeah, right now it's like Keontae George and Isaiah Collier are your only ball handlers, and outside of that, I mean, you've got guys that, Lowry can do a little bit, Ace maybe a tiny bit, but not really. Like neither of those guys you want bringing the ball up the court, right? So yeah, you're a little limited there, and I think that is a great point. You look at needs of the Jazz team, and I think that is one of them. And shooting is another one as well, and that's also Darren Peterson's superpower. He's going to come in, and he's going to be one of the best shooters in the league right away. And that's the quote-unquote ceiling that we were talking about in the NBA. Maybe Cam Boozer can. I don't know. I don't envy front office at all. I don't envy Austin or Danny Ainge
it's a tough decision,
or Justin Zanuck. Because whatever they do, whatever choice they make, there's going to be a sector of Jazz fans that are unhappy because they have talked themselves into a certain player.
Right.
I'm of the thought that you're picking between 3 great players here. There's not a wrong choice. So I don't think that Jazz fans should be upset with whatever happens unless they trade out or take like Darius Acuff. That would be cause for concern, right? But that's not going to happen,
right?
Because these guys are smart. I think that they're going to get a really good player. But you again weighing the ceilings and weighing the floors and weighing who you want to build around and why and how big of a concern are Darren Peterson's red flags and how big of a concern is Cam Boozer's lack of athleticism. A lot of tough decisions that the Angels are going to have to figure out over the next week and a half.
And it still feels like we're at the point where AJ DeBonsa will be going to the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, if Washington somehow, if they take Cam or Darren and AJ,
Oh. If it's between AJ and Darren, I might lean Darren.
Okay. But AJ versus Cam, you'd for sure.
I think I'd lean AJ.
Okay.
Yes.
See, it's a tough call.
And again, it kind of falls down to the choice of whatever the Washington Wizards want to do. Right now, just from what I think and what I feel and what I believe, it does feel like AJ DeBonsa will be going to the Washington Wizards, and it feels like he's kind of the name right now that feels like will be number one.
Yeah,
and that's awesome for him. And that's great for him. It's great for BYU. But if he falls down and you have to pick between Darren Peterson and AJ DeBonsa, I think Darren Peterson might be the way to go. If it's Cam Boozer and AJ, I'm leaning AJ.
Austin Ainge joined the station yesterday. He was on with Scotty G and the coach. Really grateful. I mean, he's doing weeklies on the station. And during this time of the year, during the draft season, it's awesome to get some insight every single week.
Right.
And, I mean, we got a ton of run out of the stuff that he said with Ben, I guess, the week prior, right? But yesterday with Scotty G and the coach, he had a couple more interesting quotes. Scotty asked him about, how popular he is as far as, like,
yeah,
people always bugging him, like, hey, Austin, who are you going to
pick?
And he gave a great answer. So this is what he had to say about that.
Oh, everywhere I walk, yeah, people ask, but we don't tell anybody. I don't tell my wife. I don't tell I don't tell some of the people on my staff that I work with every day where I'm leaning. Like, on top of the competitive advantages and the trades that could kill and some of the other things that would harm, there's huge betting markets now. And
that's true. Yeah.
Some guy I play golf with makes $500,000 on who the draft is, and then the FBI's knocking on my door. We can't be having that.
Not even telling his wife.
I mean, he's absolutely right, though, about as far as the competitive advantage goes, as far as killing the trades. Because, I mean, just completely hypothetical, right? Throwing this out there. Completely hypothetical. What if they believe Caleb Wilson is the best player in this draft?
Yeah.
Right? And you possibly don't want to take that gamble at him at 2. So you potentially get some feelers out to see what Memphis would be interested to move up, or I can't remember who's in 4th. But if they would if Chicago would be interested in moving up, right?
Right.
And that's the competitive advantage. That's the killing the trades, stuff like that he's talking about. Those hypotheticals, right? Everything's still on the table. And keep the cards as close to the chest as you can. Not even telling your wife about what you're feeling or where you're going.
And you know what? That's what makes the Angels so good at what they do.
Yes.
Because they don't care about feelings.
No.
You remember when Danny Ainge traded Isaiah Thomas away from Boston? It was like the most cold-hearted thing ever because he broke his hip.
I do remember.
And he was mourning the loss of his sister.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to have a cold-blooded killer in your front office. And you know what? I like it. I really do. I like the ruthlessness of it because to make the hard decisions, you can't let feelings get involved. So if your wife is like, oh, Austin, you got to tell me who you're going to take, you got to have somebody that's like, honey, you don't get a no.
Yeah.
You'll find out on draft night just like everybody else. So stop asking. He also brought up that he's got I think he said an 18 and a 20-year-old.
Yes.
I'm sure those kids are getting pestered. Like, hey, who's your dad going to draft?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, oh, dude, I don't know.
He
won't tell me.
He doesn't tell me.
He's locked himself in his room and he hasn't talked to anybody in 3 weeks.
I haven't seen him in a month.
Yeah, literally. And I like it because that's how you're a smart front office. You can't let anybody know what you're going to do. Last year, nobody thought the Jazz were in on Ace Bailey, and guess who they drafted?
They took Ace Bailey.
Ace Bailey.
What's the saying? Loose lips sink ships, man.
Sure.
And again, if that information were to get out, it puts you at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
It truly does.
Of course.
Yeah, it truly does.
Because last year, again, everybody was I think it was Trey Johnson was like the favorite for the Jazz, or Con Knipple if he was still there. Obviously, Charlotte takes Knipple at 4, and it's like, okay, get ready for Trey Johnson. That pick comes in, and it's Ace Bailey. Nobody thought that the Jazz would have the gut to take Ace Bailey after he refused to work out for them or whatever. They just don't care. They didn't care about Ace Bailey's feelings about Utah beforehand. And, of course, look at what happened. He came in. He liked it. He's on a great trajectory.
Fired his agent.
Fired his manager.
Yeah,
that was giving him some bad information, allegedly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't let anybody into this decision. And you got to do what you feel is best for the team. So whether you think that's Darren or you think that's Cam or you think that's AJ, and that's another scenario. Maybe they truly think that AJ is head and shoulders above everybody in this draft. Then they'll trade up to 1. And it might take a lot to get there. Or maybe not. Maybe they think that AJ is going to be a bust. So they're fine sitting at 2 and taking Darren or Cam.
And it does feel like to your point earlier, whichever one of these 3 land with the Utah Jazz, it does feel like you are getting a franchise changing player.
Right. And that's what matters.
And that's that's ultimately the goal. That's ultimately the investment you want to make. You want to have somebody who can be here for again 7 years plus, to be one of the faces of the franchise, who can get you to the ultimate goal, which is to win an NBA championship.
Lifting that LOB.
And I do feel confident that any of the 3 at the top, whether it's AJ, whether it's Darren, whether it's Cam, they have the ceiling to be on a team that is competitive enough to make it to an NBA Finals.
Yes, I agree. Speaking of a point that we were kind of hitting on earlier, Austin was asked yesterday about if they care about the rookies' fit on next year's team at all. And I'm glad that he was asked about that, because that's something a lot of people have been running with online is, if you take Darren, is Ace going to start, or is Ace going to be on the bench, or is Keontae going to be on the bench, or is your number 2 overall pick going to be on the bench? This is what Austin Ainge had to say about it.
I mean, it's a consideration how they fit in because it affects their development. But I would say it's not the number one. I would say the number one priority is how they're going to be in a few years.
I mean, obviously, next year's team is not the championship team. Everybody knows that. Next year's team is the get your feet wet in the playoffs team, get that experience, and then start building from there.
Establish yourself.
It's the Utah Mammoth of this year, right?
Establish yourself in the Western Conference, because you know how good this Western Conference is. You know how deep it is. We've talked about it before. There are a lot of good teams in this West. And if you're going to make any noise, and if you want to be, it kind of feels like you're at the point where if you want to be taken seriously, you got to establish yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what next year's about. Because for some reason, the NBA has painted the Jazz as the face of tanking.
Right.
And now everybody talks about or thinks about the Jazz. They're like, oh, yeah, perennial tankers.
But the point is, you're not worried about how the rookie fits on next year's team. Like we were saying earlier, if you take Cam, you're not going to trade Lowry right away.
Yeah.
If you take Darren, you're not going to send somebody to the bench right away. I don't know why you'd start a rookie day one. I mean, unless he comes in and he truly is the next Kobe Bryant, then sure. But again, and even Kobe Bryant didn't start his rookie year. So
if it is Cam Boozer, he turns 19 in July. He turns 19 next month. So you're bringing in a young 19-year-old who still needs to be molded to the NBA.
Yeah, all of these guys were one and done.
Right.
All these guys are
let's not forget that.
Kids.
Exactly. And comparing it to just the one we saw last year in Ace Bailey, you saw his development. You saw him being molded throughout the course of the first season, and I think you can expect the same thing with whoever they take it to.
Yes, the Jazz can have their cake and eat it too.
Right, using the first year to mold whoever they decide whoever they decide to pick into what is going to potentially be the guy to get you over the hump in the next couple years. This
rookie's development is not going to determine whether or not the Jazz make the playoffs.
Right,
they're likely a playoff team anyways, so they have the benefit of pushing for the playoffs and bringing along this rookie slowly. And the right way, and however Coach Hardy wants to do it.
Right.
So, again, it's a tough call. And I'd imagine over the next week especially, we're going to get a lot of smoke. And remember, it's lying season. Nothing you hear is true, especially with the Ainges at the front office. And of course, Zanuck is there as well.
Right.
Nothing you hear is true because they're not telling anybody anything. So if you hear a quote-unquote rumor that supposedly leaked out of the Jazz front office, it's not true. They're throwing you off the trail.
Yes.
On purpose.
And, the awesome thing about that, too, is that if anything does come out that is true, you'll never know it.
You'll never know.
You'll never know it.
Because you assume that they're just trying to throw you off the trail.
Exactly.
It's the boy who cried wolf.
Exactly. And
you sit on a throne of lies.
It's one of my favorite times of the years because people will, again, going back to what we, referencing the mock trade that came out from Yahoo Sports, people will see something and they'll absolutely run with it.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the reaction that I saw online this week on Twitter was, oh, the Jazz are going for Cam Boozer.
Meltdown.
But are they? Are they really?
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. So we'll see.
It's a fun week, man.
Again, a week and a half, essentially.
Yeah.
It's on not this Tuesday, the next Tuesday, right? So going to be a fun day and have the best coverage here on the station all week. We got to take a break. Coming up next, we got to talk about this Brendan Sorsby stuff. Brendan Sorsby, of course, ruled eligible because of the injunction. And then Texas Tech just decided to go scorched earth and really become the villains of college football. So we will talk about that next and how ridiculous it is. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. The chocolate crispy taste gonna make your day. And wherever you go, you hear the people say, give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Have a break? Have a Kit Kat.
You're listening to this podcast, so you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup meal at McDonald's is underway with one of 9 legendary cups in the lineup. Christian Pulisic, David Beckham, Lamine Yamal, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, Son Heung-min, Alphonso Davies, Santi Jimenez. And between the posts, it's Grimace. Get one of 9 collectible cups with a FIFA World Cup meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last. All rights reserved. 2026 McDonald's at FIFA World Cup 2026.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, we have extra big deals for a very limited time, so you can get Dad the gift he's been wishing for. Get a free Select Craftsman, DeWalt, or Cobalt battery when you buy a Select Combo Kit. Plus, save $90 on a Cobalt 24-volt battery string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now $129. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, thank you for making us a part of your Saturday morning. Alex, every once in a while, you'll see things on social media, on Twitter especially, it'll happen. You know, there's a crazy event that just unites everybody on Twitter, and people just take off, right? Well, we had one of those this week, except it transcended even that. It has left, Twitter and social media. I kid you not, the entire sports world is against Texas Tech right now. It's Texas Tech versus
the world.
Everybody, because of this stupid Brendan Sorsby situation where some small town judge in Texas basically ruled that the NCAA can't suspend Sorsby for gambling on his own team because it would, what was the word? Cause him harm?
Yes.
Ridiculous.
I don't know how I know how we got here. I just don't know.
I don't know how we got
here. We sat in these chairs last week, and we talked about how incredibly dumb it would be if the courts, if his lawsuit came back and he was granted an injunction and he was allowed to be played, because it is going to harm and it's going to question the integrity of this of college football as a whole. And now here we are with Brendan Sorsby winning his injunction. He'll get his 2-game suspension, and then theoretically he should be available to play week 3 when they take on Houston to start off conference play.
What's funny is, so you say theoretically be available to play week 3, and that leads me to my next point, and it's this stupid PR run that Texas Tech has decided to run with. And I can't believe that this is the direction they're going, right? But Joey McGuire said that Sorsby was... He can't even promise that Sorsby's going to start week 3 because he's recovering from an addiction. He's dealing with some serious issues. So, he's got a health problem. I don't know if he'll be able to play right away. And it's like, why go through all the fuss then? I don't know.
The PR mess that Texas Tech is creating for itself is insane.
It would have been so easy to just say, you know what, Brendan, we can't let you do this. We don't want to become the biggest villain in all of sports right now.
This all could have been avoided if Texas Tech would have said, hey, look, we'll support you while you go through your gambling rehab. We'll support you while you do this, this, and this to get over your addiction. But you cannot play.
But they're not doing that.
But they're not doing it.
Because they want to be the bad guys. They want to turn heel. They want to ruffle feathers and get under everybody's skins. And I don't know why you would want to do that, but you've got Cody Campbell going on radio shows saying that everybody is scared of Texas Tech, and that's why they want Brendan Sorsby suspended, because they're scared of Texas Tech. Nobody nationally is scared of any Big 12 team, whether it's Texas Tech or BYU or Arizona State or Utah. The SEC and the Big Ten, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about Big 12 schools. Texas Tech got blanked last year. They don't care. And Brendan Sorsby is not that much better of a quarterback than Baron Morton. He's not. He's a fine quarterback. It's not like he's Caleb Williams. So, anyways, they're okay with being the villain. Not only are they okay with being the villains, they are choosing to be the villains, and that's the route they are deliberately taking.
I also think it's hilarious that the AD releases this big statement and says, "Look, we're not suing. We're not a part of this. It's Brendan Sorsby's lawsuit. And it's his lawyers, it's his team. He's doing all that. We're not suing,
right?
But we're gonna support.
Him through these tough times.
It's insane, man." Again, this all could be avoided if they would just put their foot down and say, look, man, you can't play.
But why would they do that when it's so much more fun to be hated by everybody? And I think Joey McGuire took it. There have been a couple crazy turns.
Yes.
And one of them was this statement from Joey McGuire. He was talking to, I think it was a panel at like a season ticket holder meeting or some boosters or something. He was talking to a crowd of people in a room at like a dinner or something. And this is what Joe McGuire had to say.
Brendan Sorsby is recovering from an addiction. He's recovering. I've sat down with this young man multiple times, and the things that he is going through and what he's been through is serious. As a society, we've been okay with other things that happens and allowing players to play, and this has been the one thing that has united people that we're against, and it's crazy because it's not murder, it's not beating somebody, there's a lot of things that we're working through.
Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
He's right in the sense that Brendan Sorsby didn't kill anybody. He didn't beat somebody. But let's not act like this is the one rule that all of sports has held up and stood by since the beginning of time.
You don't cross that line.
The NCAA straight up said, we are not going to be the first league in American sports history to allow this. And now it's out of their hands, so they have no choice but to allow it. But That is fact.
Yes.
Nobody has ever allowed this before.
I also think it's incredibly convenient that the appeal process and the date scheduled for the appeal was 2 weeks after the national championship.
Not 2026 national championship. 2027 national.
Right.
When the season's over.
Yes, exactly.
They're going to say, oh, yeah, you know what? You're not eligible to play.
So they're going to try to appeal. They're going to try to obviously get this overturned, but by then the season's over.
That's
How
why,
convenient.
like, theoretically, in Texas Tech's minds, they think they can take a run at the Natty. And if they win the national championship, first off, that can't even be vacated, actually, because the national championship, the college football playoff, is not sanctioned by the NCAA. So that's a whole different matter. So I guess as far as the Big 12 championship, that can be vacated. But Texas Tech's okay with that.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't believe this is the direction that Texas Tech is going. And then, so that's a whole other thing, right? The Joey McGuire thing, the Cody Campbell thing. To follow all of that up, they released a 22-minute yap session. That's the only way to put it. With 5 people. It was their AD, associate AD, Cody Campbell, Joey McGuire, and the school president.
Yeah. If anybody sat through and watched the entire 21-minute video, I salute you.
Nobody did. I guarantee you nobody watched the whole thing.
PK did.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, PK. That's crazy.
I watched the first maybe 3 minutes of it, and I said, yeah.
That's more than I would expect anybody to watch. Why waste your time watching 5 people reiterate all the crap that they've just been posting online?
Exactly.
I mean, the AD's statement would take you 22 minutes to read because it was so long, the one that he posted on Twitter. So it's ridiculous that they just keep standing by it, and they keep wanting to defend this when this has been the cardinal rule of all sports. I mean, it goes back to Pete Rose and the White Sox, and, boxing had its deal with gambling, and somebody was making the point. That's why boxing is not popular anymore. People stopped watching boxing because of the gambling.
Right.
Because of, boxers throwing fights.
Right.
And you never knew it was real. And that's why the WWE, I mean, it has its fans, right? But it's never going to be the NFL or the NBA because to a certain extent, it's rigged.
The NCAA put out something last year, it was about a year ago, to potentially allow athletes to gamble, to place bets.
Right.
And it was going to become a legal thing. Texas Tech was one of the schools that struck it down.
Were they really?
They were.
That's funny.
They were. So this all.
So they're hypocrites.
Again, this all could have been avoided.
Yeah.
One of the quotes to go along with what you just heard from Coach McGuire, he essentially doubled down on it during the 21-minute video, and he said he can play, is what the judge said. What we're trying to do is get him into a healthy space where he can feel great about what he's doing and he can deal with his addiction. And that's day by day.
I couldn't give less of a crap. Look, if you've got a problem, if you got an addiction, go take care of it. Fine, I don't care.
Right.
Why is Texas Tech wasting their time with all of this? I mean, I can't believe that they think this is the best route to take.
Yeah.
And you see it online with Cody Campbell is very obnoxious, very loud, very chronically online, which I don't know how he has the time to do.
Talk about hypocritical.
Yes. Imagine, a couple weeks ago when he's feuding with Texas about not playing them.
Right.
Imagine if this was Arch Manning instead of Brendan Sorsby. Imagine the crap that Cody Campbell would be saying on Twitter.
Well, and then Cody Campbell had that tweet when the ruling came down, when the injunction was granted. He had the tweet in his statement where essentially he was like, "Look, I'm still working on fixing college sports.
Yes,
but we're gonna let Brendan Sorsby play." And it's like this is
fixing college sports.
You are part of the problem, sir.
My behind. He's such a hypocrite. Again, to use the word hypocrite, like it goes back to his whole when he was on DJ and PK last year, and they asked him about why are you spending so much money on the Texas Tech program, and essentially he said, "Oh, I want to make a point, that if you spend enough money, you can win, and I want to do that so people will realize how corrupt college football is." You don't care. You just want to spend and then look good doing it, right?
Did you notice who wasn't in that 21-minute video?
Who?
Cody Campbell.
Oh, he wasn't in it.
He was not
oh, I thought he was.
He was
See,
not
I
in
didn't
it.
even watch it.
Nope, he wasn't in it. Rules for thee, not me.
Right.
You know?
Of course.
That's kind of what it feels like right now with Texas Tech. I do like the stances that the athletic directors in the Big 12 have taken. Pete Thamel went on ESPN the other day and said that there was a lot of curse words in those meetings.
Good.
People going at each other, right?
Not from Brian Santiago.
Not from Santiago. And
maybe, I don't know. Probably not, though.
Essentially, right, Yormark is still working with this executive board that has a couple of presidents, including the BYU president, on how to handle this situation because we are in uncharted waters, uncharted territory. No one has ever been here. No one has ever been here. So Yormark and them are trying to figure out how, what to do moving forward, right? If there's going to be any punishments from the conference regarding Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby. We'll see what happens with that. But you have the Texas Attorney General Office who now came out and said, look, if you guys take any action against us, we're coming after you.
Right. That is where we are as of today. The Texas Attorney General is saying basically, we're going to sue you if you choose not to play us. And then the Oklahoma Attorney General is saying, do it. Let's go to court. I dare you. So we'll see, man. It's going to become... That's what makes me the most angry about all of this is such a microcosm of what college sports has become.
Yeah.
The product on the field doesn't matter anymore. It matters how good your lawyers are.
Yeah.
How good your money is, right?
That's kind of that's where we're at right
That's
now.
all college sports is now, and it's so frustrating. Just let the kids play, follow the rules. If they break it, see you later. Enter the supplemental NFL draft. We'll never see you again. But no, you don't like something, you can take it to court.
I've heard plenty of our hosts joke about it on air, right? If you want something done, just sue the NCAA.
Well, of course, it works.
And it works. The NCAA has no teeth.
You know what? I wonder if it's so ridiculous. Like a year ago, if you would say that this would happen, you'd say no way, right? I wonder if we're ever going to get to a point where somebody sues for a loss.
I mean, that's where we're at this point in college football.
Nothing
right?
surprises you anymore.
A year ago, if you would have told me this was going to happen, I'd be like, oh, come on, no way.
Right.
But it just keeps happening, right? You go back to the Pavia injunction and the eligibility injunction of these guys getting all these extra years because they're suing the NCAA. And I'm like, back in the day, I'm like, nah, there's no way.
That's where we're at. Somebody's going to lose a game and then sue because they didn't like the outcome.
Would not surprise me.
Maybe it's a Big 12 team sues Texas Tech.
Would not surprise me. You know what? It very possibly could be.
That's what should happen.
It very possibly could be.
Get
right?
the Utah Law School together.
Say Brendan Sorsby plays that first game against Houston week 3, whatever it is, right? To open conference play.
Houston
loses.
Lawyer up.
Why not?
Let's place bets on it.
Why not?
Let's place bets that that's going to happen.
Horrible.
We got to take a break. We got some breaking news as a technical foul that we're going to hit next. And I love it. That's the beauty about the technical foul segment. You never know if they're going to come in on Monday or Saturday at 10:30. So we've got some breaking news, a technical foul that we will get to on the other side of this break. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, thank you for tuning in on a Saturday morning. Before the break, I mentioned that we have some breaking news, and it was very conveniently timed because it's a perfect technical foul for the show. Alex, tell us what's up.
Cleveland Cavaliers guard James Harden was arrested in Houston, Texas on Saturday for carrying an unlawful weapon per the Harris County District Clerk's office. The Cleveland guard was held on a $100 bond, which was posted on Saturday, and he's no longer in police custody. The charge itself is a misdemeanor, and based on the summary of the case, it relates to the handgun not being properly holstered.
$100 bond, huh?
$100 bond.
Bet he had it in all ones, if you know what I'm saying. He had it in his pocket.
He was arrested.
He said, I've got ones.
He was arrested at 3:41 a.m. local time on Saturday morning. I
wonder where he was on his way home from.
Wouldn't put it past it that the $100 bond was all
Yes, sir, I can pay that right away.
in $1 bills.
Mr. Harden, Do you have to pay it in all ones? Yeah, that's all I've got at the moment. That's all I've got. Mr. Harden, why are these ones covered in glitter?
For a Cleveland Cavaliers team, stop. For a Cleveland Cavaliers team who shouldn't be taking this type of heat right now, this is horrible. This is horrible for Harden. This is horrible for the Cavs.
It's fine. Nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing's gonna happen to it. But it's a terrible look when James Harden was the butt of all jokes when
I guess
his defending was horrible, and then it comes out in the offseason right as soon as they're eliminated that they're going to give Harden an extension because they made a commitment to Harden after he was traded to Cleveland, and now you come up with this.
Yeah. I think James Harden clearly doesn't care about his reputation.
No,
and how he is
absolutely
perceived.
Not.
And yeah, $100 bond tells you how serious this charge is, right? Like, it's funny to bring it up as a technical foul and be like, oh, James Harden was arrested. And then, he had a gun sitting on the seat and it wasn't properly holstered, and that's all it is. I mean, yeah, thank goodness nobody was hurt. I don't know why he would have a gun. I don't know what. Maybe he was doing something very nefarious at 3:41 a.m. I don't know. Kind of weird now that I think about it more. But yeah, no, this is not going to turn into anything. The Cleveland Cavaliers they're probably wanting something to happen. They're probably wanting Harden to serve some jail time so they could get out of his stupid contract.
Right.
What a disaster, I think, is what we can bring this to, right? What a disaster of a trade that it was. And you bring up it showed its ugly teeth in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And he is not the reason, but he is the biggest reason that Cleveland got eliminated because he simply could not play a lick of defense at all, no matter what Kenny Atkinson would tell you.
He's their best defender, man.
What a terrible trade. I said it when it went down. I said it during the playoffs. Everybody knows. I mean, I don't want to sit here and act like I'm all-knowing for calling that a bad trade. Everybody called it a bad trade. It didn't make sense. And now it still doesn't make sense, I guess. No. I'm saying.
The next hearing will be held on June 22nd to find out the next further steps on how this case will be considered.
Let's see. He is going on, as per terms of his bond, bans him from possessing any firearms, any ammunition, or other weapons, and from using, possessing, or consuming any alcohol, controlled substance, dangerous drug, or marijuana unless prescribed by a doctor. And he must submit to random urinalysis. So maybe if he breaks that, then he...
Then
he'll actually get in trouble.
The trouble will be worse.
I doubt it.
The trouble will be worse. We'll see. We'll see though.
Do you know who I am?
June 22nd.
I'm the beard. Everybody in Houston knows him.
Yes. From his times at with the Rockets,
Yeah. And the surrounding
areas,
gentlemen's clubs.
Oh man, it's a bad look for James Harden. It's a bad look for the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is not the news. If you're a the Cleveland Cavaliers front office, this is not the news you want to wake up to on a Saturday morning.
I just can't understand when you make it into the NBA and you're that rich and famous and you have such a terrible public perception, not just based off of, your reputation with the strip clubs and making your team late and holding them up, literally making the Rockets wait until the next day to fly out because of he wanted to go to the strip club so bad. Yeah. But also his on-court play has been so terrible, and he is the butt of all of these jokes, and he just doesn't care about any of it.
No, he doesn't.
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get
how... He doesn't, and I mean, if you're... I don't know the exact terms of his contract. I can't remember how much his guaranteed is, but if you're making that much money, I'm sure he doesn't care.
He's got like a $40 million player option this summer, but
right.
Of course there are extension talks, so we'll see what that turns into. And yeah, if he gets extended, that number is going to be at or more than $40 million, right? So he's still getting paid a ton of money to go and act like an idiot. So to your point, that's why he doesn't care. Maybe I'm different. I mean, I care what people think about me to a certain extent, right? Like, I don't want to be seen as this joke of a human, like this disaster, irresponsible person. But that's what James Harden is, and he doesn't care.
Yeah. Real quick, the World Cup is in full swing.
Okay.
The England national team has set up their base camp in Kansas City.
Awesome.
They had their equipment stolen out of a team vehicle in Kansas City, according to multiple reports. The theft occurred when the England's training equipment was being transported.
Jeez, like a heist?
I guess so.
Like Fast and Furious?
Well, because they were moving it from Florida, because they had a game in Florida, to the soccer village that they're staying in Kansas City. And it was stolen on the way to Kansas.
Wow.
Most of the items have reportedly since been recovered. So whoever took them didn't get rid of them fast enough.
Yeah, because what are you going to do with it?
Sell it. Put it up
right, but that's how you get caught.
Put it up on eBay. Yeah, I guess.
You just show up to your indoor league with some really nice cleats and shin guards.
Look what I got. Yeah. Glad it was recovered. Glad most of it has been recovered. But I thought it was funny that while it was being transported to their base camp in Kansas City, they got hijacked.
You know what the punishment should be?
What's that?
Force them to go spend a week in London.
Try our food.
Yeah. Put them on the all London diet for a week.
Yeah, there you go.
Please, I'll never steal again. No.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, we got to take a break. Coming up next, we'll talk NBA Finals. It might get wrapped up tonight. Game 5, Spurs lead Knicks lead 3-1. Spurs are looking like a disaster in the making. So we got to talk about this next. It's the Saturday show. Talk about it on the other side. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Out here, if you're doing nothing, you're doing everything right. Though on a cruise with Norwegian, even if you're doing nothing, you're still basking in the warm sun, enjoying the peaceful ocean waves. You're breathing. Don't forget about breathing. Definitely need to be breathing. So you get to do nothing, or everything, but you still need to be breathing. It's like really important.
Experience the difference with cruises to Alaska, the Caribbean, and Europe. Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line ships registry the Bahamas and USA.